going to get any better on the price front. So I think we need to just kind of...
Hey everyone, welcome back to Get Your Deck Out, your weekly Magic the Gathering roundup of everything in the competitive space. This has been a bit of a big competitive space this weekend. I've been out and about doing all the stuff locally. We've had Magic across Europe. No, actually not across Europe, actually. It was Riftbound across Europe. Shout out Chris Bond from Full Fire on that one. But yes, across the world, there's been Magic the Gathering tournaments firing. Scott, as always, 1170G is here with me to talk about the beautiful game. And once again, the curveballs is thrown us this week. But Scott, everyone's mostly invested in how you're doing. How is everything's going? And
no one cares how I'm doing.
They do, because everyone's loaded up this podcast on video. Because even if you are on Spotify right now, where you're leaving us 5 stars, you looked at the background and went, Scott's still in his old house. I hope he's okay.
I am moving in about 12 hours. So
almost like perfectly timed with when this podcast will hit people's feeds.
Yeah, pretty much.
Scott will be in the back of a van.
Yeah, if you see me driving a van from Cardiff up to Caerphilly and looking extremely disgruntled, yeah, that's me. That's me moving.
It's almost like, whereas last week we used the AI-generated Dave on a Doomsday Excruciator, or I say AI, probably Nuno drew that craftily by hand, whatever he did, but we should just do like you in the back of the van, like holding like a deck box or something like that. Would be that would be the head. But if you've even got through the first minute and a half of me rambling about that, make sure you come back and like and subscribe. And we're doing really well on YouTube, and also in your ears every single week here on a Tuesday to talk.
In your ears.
In your ears, but in your ears. I'd love to say Standard is like thriving and going really, really well. And it is. Sadly, this was the last official weekend of this Standard format, which...
was it?
Yeah, because as of next weekend, we'll have Turtles cards available.
Off.
I knew that'd be the effect. I knew that'd be the effect. There is some interesting stuff, but like as we always say on this podcast,
there isn't.
But we just don't go looking, right? Like we'll see how it plays out once they're available to play.
Yeah, we'll talk about some of the cards next week. We are probably going to be recording a bit of a weird one on site at a pre-release in Firestorm. Piece it together into a podcast. Let us know if you're interested in seeing that. It'll be like it'll be a combination of how this podcast normally goes, and if you enjoy Dave's vlog content from tournaments, it'll kind of be a hybrid between those two, because I won't have Wi-Fi in my new house yet, because thanks Virgin, but it'll get sorted. It's getting sorted the morning that I'm going away on holiday, but I'm stressed out about it, if you couldn't tell. But it's fine.
I tell you, in the grander scheme of UK public service sector logistical stuff, that's actually a reasonable turnaround. Like the UK are notoriously bad for just connecting things and sorting things.
It has taken me 4 months to buy a house, David.
Yeah, exactly. Loads of red tape everywhere. Whilst we've been away buying houses and doing in-life stuff, Magic has happened. Standard continues to happen. This weekend, so there was the Arena Championship 11. Somewhere in the region of 120 odd of the best players in the digital client will get together and play for Pro Tour spots, and quite a bit of money as well, from what I can tell. Then there's also the Regional Championships in Milwaukee. 1,800 players. A bit of a side note. I've been looking this week about the whole sort of like what the pre-COVID era of Magic events. Like I sort of, it was sparked off by a couple of articles I saw on Twitter about like, the state of the RCQs areas. I won't go into that bit. Got a bit of a video brewing, but why aren't these just a spotlight series now? Like, because like Milwaukee. I'm not saying it's the most beautiful place in the world, but it's got some cool things about it. Yeah, people would have traveled anyway. Like, it could have just been a spotlight series at this point. Could therefore just be a GP. Like, it was a great weekend, some great coverage, but I think like at this point, are we just tired of the whole like grind of it to get the privilege to go to it, or would it just not be better for like these things to happen sporadically once every 2 months or so, and people put their money in the right position?
No, I think honestly the current cadence with Spotlight Series is pretty much just fine to me. It's obviously we don't live in America. I know people might be surprised by that hearing our accents, but living in America is a different ball game when it comes to playing Magic, where you will have these larger tournaments like more available. You can drive East Coast into Central America like quite easily, for example. Like it's all just good straight roads. In the UK, if you want to drive from say Cardiff up to Gloucester, it will take a good 2 hours, and that'll be for a 25-person RCQ. And shout out Gloucester, shout out Full Fire, we love you. We will continue driving up for your RCQs, but it's not quite driving for a 1,000-player Spotlight Series. It's not getting on a plane and flying to Lyon and dealing with everything that comes with that now, thanks Brexit, where it's hard to book things within the UK because of the legislation involved now, but also it's harder to get out of the UK and into Europe, where if you're in mainland Europe, then it is slightly easier. You're part of the EU, there's things in place, and that's fine. And if you're in America, that's fine. But I mean, big tournament in Santiago in South America, shout out them. They have it even worse than we do.
That is true.
God forbid you live in Africa and you want to play Magic. Good luck.
I think you'd have to fly to Dubai for one of the two RCQs that they have.
I think that's pretty much it, yeah.
Yeah. But Santiago were our sort of standard bearer of the developed RC season 2 weeks ago. There was a reasonable breakdown of top decks. We had Mono Green Landfall, Is It Lessons, the Dimir Excruciator mid-range stuff. This was the point where Boros Dragons won, which was like, again, on all this field, like the big standout. But the big standout was that there was a fall off of the rhythm decks. Everyone sort of was then fire selling their cubs, like let's get me out of here. Actually, no, they weren't fire selling the cubs; they were going buy me some green cards because they looked at the sapling nursery and went, "You're the best card in standard," and sort of like went sideways to the next event. And before we actually had the Milwaukee on the weekend, we got the publication of the deck lists that were submitted. Mono Green went to 21%. There is obviously the caveat that this field was just like 100 players, down from like 600 players. That you do start to see a polarization, but there's still one hell of a drum. But I think the reality is the win rate in Santiago was like 64%. So you look at the dominating display on that, like you're gonna see that level of change. But also the return of Simic Rhythm on the basis that it was, hey, if people are going to be playing Mono Green Roundfall, I've got a good matchup into this. So they returned. And then I think there was also looking at the sort of eventual breakdown of Arena Championship 11. A couple of schools of thought then when, if those decks are coming back, I'm getting me back on my Lessons. And Lessons is risen again. And it's just, I think
it's just organically changing, man. It's just a good standard format. It's just week on week. The right deck to play changes. I mean, if we have a look in at Milwaukee, it was 1,200-ish players. So good turnout. We like that. And the top 8 was two lessons, 2 spell elementals, mono green landfall, is it elementals, which is different to spell elementals.
Yes.
Bant airbending, Simic Rhythm. Excruciator in 9th. Another lessons, couple more landfall. One is it prowess, Boros Dragons, Dimir midrange. There's a lot of options for decks you can play. They're all way too expensive for what they are. And yeah, that's the standard format we've got in front of us, and that's not going to change in the short term. The price of standard's not going to change in the short term, but that's the issue, I think, with, like, people have been talking a lot about the RCQ format on the local level, and as you said, like, talking about like Spotlight Series, stuff like that. People are literally just priced out of it at this point, and especially when the cost of living is doing what it's doing, and the British government, the American government are making decisions maybe, shall we say, not in the best interest of the people at large, and Hasbro's response to that is to keep hiking the price up and trying to see what they can squeeze out to improve their bottom line, because Wizards of the Coast is the only profitable part of Hasbro. It's not going to get any better on the price front, so I think we need to just kind of ignore that and hope it fixes itself, and we just look at the standard format for what it is and play it on Arena, because on Arena it doesn't matter if you're crafting Badger Mole Cubs or, let's say, let me just pick a mythic from Triceraton Commander.
Oh, that's a banger.
I again, don't care, but they cost the same on Arena, and Magic Online has its own issues with its economy, that Arena has its own issues with its economy, but it's a different prospect to turn around and say you need to put what would realistically be a deposit on a car down for a standard deck that might be irrelevant in a week and a half when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is hitting shelves and everyone's playing Donatello and Raphael, and that's just better than what came before it. But
yeah, like the one bit of hope, or the one bit of like still like rosy lining is if you bought a standard deck in November now, like pretty much it will still be playable right now.
Yeah,
and that's the good thing.
That is something that is starting to shine through. You say that has literally been 3 months, and do I think, from what little TMNT I've looked at, that I think Lessons is going to be unplayable, Harmonizer's going to be unplayable, Boros Dragons, like Mono Green Landfall. Do I think all of these decks are just going to be unplayable overnight? No, absolutely not. You might adopt 1 or 2 cards, but with the length that cards are legal for in Standard now, you can hopefully treat it a little bit like how some people used to treat Modern, where you could buy a deck and then update it occasionally. Maybe you spend 600 quid on the deck and then you spend 100 quid over the course of 3 years. And then when it's all rotated, you sell it for less than it was worth when you bought it. And that's just the cost of doing business nowadays. But it's not maybe as bad as it looks on the outset. But the concern for me is the new players and the new player experience, where, as I've said a couple of times over the last couple of weeks, we're in a fortunate position that we're already invested. And we have a lot of local Magic players to us where we can lend each other cards, we can help each other out for tournaments. There's normally like starting towns flying around from binder to deck, and like this odd rare that someone's picked up that people have started playing now. Someone's got it hanging around from a draft, something like that.
My formidable speakers are somewhere. I know. like they relent, then they went to someone else, and
yeah, Francis had my White Orchid Phantoms for like 3.5 months. I had no idea.
And it's just become quite a prevalent thing. And obviously, we'll come on to our legacy event from the weekend later, and is one of the big motivations between sort of our move to wider community-based events, because it lets us have a little bit of flexibility, specifically on that concept of can we use playtest cards or not, which in the realms of it's an event for the community to build their own prize pool and to build their own fun, like you're allowed to, we can go through the rules and use that, which shouldn't be the case. And that's like the sad thing about that is we shouldn't be here saying that like, oh, because of the cost, that's the way we're going to go. The specific format we were playing, obviously Legacy, it's even more impactful. But the crazy thing there is it even like some of the Legacy decks of the weekend that were in like the top 16 were as cheap as the top end of the standard decks.
I'm actually gonna test that theory now. So looking at, are we moving on to the Legacy tournament? Are we?
Well, before we do, let's just
we could talk about this Otters list, because that's kind of sick.
Yeah, there was two things. Let's see, Prowett. Other than the usual suspects being up and around the top, and obviously shout out Will Kruger for and Max Kaminsky for like their records on lessons the last two tournaments. Like if any of them have got like a Metafy or something like that, I would highly suggest go and get it and buy it. It's probably going to be a positive EV to your win rate to do such a thing.
Yeah, interestingly, Will Kruger is actually playing Storm Chaser's talent in this, which isn't the most popular thing.
Yeah, exactly. And just going down the list, some of the names in that top element again. We've seen Tyson Roylance up there previously. We got Bosch and Roll, Mr. himself. Do you know what I love as well? Mr. Legacy Bosch and Roll himself. It's such a great segue to us having Legacy on today as well.
Yeah, Brian Koval. If you do not watch his content, if there is a modern or a legacy deck or a vintage deck even that you have looked at and thought, oh, that looks kind of cool, he has played it, and he works really closely with the Resleevables, who will also endorse as well. If you want Magic content and for some reason you're not happy with the amount that we give you, go watch Bosch and Roll first. You will learn something, and you want to talk about positive EV, even if you've got like YouTube Premium, that's positive EV.
Yeah, for people like that, that's what get the right Magic content creators on YouTube and have the ability to watch it without disruption. Spot on. Just down the list before we hit the spicy stuff. May French as well, someone who's had some great results in NRG series things. Also, again, remembering everyone's goes to the Pro Tour if they're in like the top 32, I believe, or roughly about there. So like shout out there, Sam Bogue as well. Again, probably pumping out
Michael
the best.
Benedetto Plumber and second as well.
Yeah, and I think Michael getting that probably gets Sam back onto the Pro Tour, which is
probably
great
because I would assume. I'd assume Max was already queued.
Yeah, I believe
from the previous one. I would assume that. Seeing Brian Koval on a Pro Tour would be awesome. And
he is.
I assume Michael's queued for all of them this year because Pro Tour champion.
Would have thought so. Max definitely is because they were top 8 in the last Spotlight series. So unless that one quick queued them and then they fell off,
there'll be a couple of pastimes.
Hey, all I'm saying is we all want Sam Bogue vlog content because it's possibly the best Magic vlog content at the moment.
It is so good as well. It is very good. But like Zevon Faust, Dana Fisher, shout out.
Yeah, Dana was like. Let's be fair, them starting Magic so young, by the time they're 18, they need to be world champ. And they're on actual path.
Wait, how old's Dana now?
Are they? They're not 18, right?
Don't make me feel old.
No, they are young. They're still quite young. I think they're
15.
Yeah, 15. So 3 years. I think the timeline is
Dana. You're making me feel so old.
what's incredible about Dana's run as well is that they're also like actually smashing Riftbound to pieces as well. Like they're doing incredible work there. So and they also cosplay everything they do as well.
Like, some people are just built different.
Like I remember I rolled out of bed for each day of the Spotlight series in Liverpool. And I don't even drink. I'm just lazy. They just they're just built so well. But look, anyone who's up there, and like if you actually randomly are just even passing by this podcast, we'd always love a chat. You can drop us messages on socials or drop it into the email and all the comments of this, or whatever, right? You know, come on and we'll have a chat about things. But yeah, the spicy stuff is the fact. Well, not spicy really. Is it prowess? It did okay. There's a couple of is it prowess lists which. I think that's if I came into this podcast kind of like going, oh, Scott, look, is it prowess? I'm pretty sure you'd say to me, yeah, but I'd probably still just play lessons, or I'd probably still play something like that.
Where's this is it prowess that we're talking about? Gavin Meagher's in 14th, yeah.
Yeah, or a mere moment. They're all the same stuff.
Yeah, a couple of people have played this to like fairly good results. Yeah, I mean it. I think it's stuck between Spelementals and lessons, right? And it's kind of filling that middle role. I'm looking at this and thinking, is there really no way that we can get Frostcliff Siege in this deck? And
yeah,
there's no Quantum Riddler, which makes me feel a bit upset. There's not even a Quantum Riddler in the 75.
Yeah, you'd have thought that was with Wild Ride in there. You'd have thought that would have been.
I suppose Wild Ride's just Frostcliff Siege, but cheaper for this deck, I suppose. But the one I want to talk about is this Blue-White Otters deck.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Sig's Command. How many merfolk you playing? Fuck you. That's how many.
It is literally just
Theodore Core. That's it.
The Theodore Core, like. Possibly from a design perspective, one of the most interesting things like we've seen for a while. The sort of like,
hey man, you get people playing like manoliths in standard. You've done something right.
Yeah, it's really good, and I also like love the fact that you get like rolling dragon storm in. Again, how many dragons you playing? Fuck all.
Yeah, pick it up with my Fear.core, use my Fear.core, generate some mana, cast it again. Let's go, homie.
Yeah, and you essentially, I looked it up, and I looked at people talking primers that the whole thing is once you do resolve the core and an otter, once you make the second spell like the Fear.core, core, you essentially just win through Fear.core core OTKs. It's just like incredible, like
you
incredible
just cast
copies.
Like Boomerang Basics and Storm Chaser's Talents and Sleight of Hands and just go blah 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 blah.
Yeah, get to a point where like you
get out, pick it all up, do it all again.
Yeah, like you just keep casting about 4 Sigs command, even though you've got only 2 of them in the deck. And stuff like
honestly, the reason why I'm so interested in this deck is blue-white. People have been playing the blue-white tempo deck with like Ang and Aven Interrupter and stuff like that. And I think a huge amount of that deck's win rate comes purely from its sideboard options, where they can play Rest in Peace, they can play Spell Snare, they can play Wan Shi Tong, Voice of Victory, Split Up, like all these things. But then because this Otters deck isn't an Ang Aven Interrupter deck, they get Torpor Orb, which is one of the other really important cards in this format.
I had a bit of a run of this deck on my way to work this morning, so I get like about 45 minutes of commute time if I head into the office, and I had a Rest in Peace into Torpor Orb into a mono green landfall deck at one point, and that was great. Also into Is It Elementals, I had it as well, which it just kind of like shuts everything off, and especially the way the reanimators moved a little. So any reanimated decks you seem to see online, they've seem to be almost like Grixis Elementals-esque.
And they're basically just like superior Spider-Man decks, right? Like that's
yeah. I see, but your 1/3 2 drops just do nothing, can't do stuff, and you're like, okay, cool, I'll tempo you out.
I wanted a blue-white deck that was more robust than those tempo decks, and I think the tempo decks are fine to good. They actually had, I think, like a 61% win rate in Santiago as well, but obviously much more compressed field. I haven't seen what their win rate is from Milwaukee, but
there's two in the top 6. There's 2 in the top 32.
I mean,
overall.
Let's go. That's great. Like
every deck is in the. Do you know what I find really impressive? Like, we have moments where like there's lots of good decks, but then a deck will fall off. Is every deck that has had a moment in like the last 3 months was good enough to top 32 in this big old field, and it's not like 5 of this deck, 8 of this deck, 9 of this deck. It really is everything that the kitchen sink can throw at it. And
it's what they wanted from a 3-year standard, right? Is instead of there being 6 decks like there is for a normal standard format, there's what, 15, 20?
Yeah, for sure. And without sort of trying to like be on the side of it happening, what we've basically got is Pioneer in respective card pool, and like original Pioneer for the first couple of years, it was actually quite fun.
Was it?
Yeah, I liked it.
Was it, or were you just involved in it?
I liked it. It was not everyone's cup of tea, I guess.
It was just a combo first, right? Like the first couple of years.
Sorry, yeah.
Or are we talking after they banned like 6 cards and fixed it?
Yeah, so after they fixed it, after we kind of yeeted Winota into the atmosphere.
Before we went just into like the Rakdos pile.
Yeah, but there's actually more cards in this standard than was in that Pioneer.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's crazy. And I listen quite regularly on my commute to the Crew 3 podcast, who they focus on Pioneer, and bless their hearts, they've tried their best to continue focusing, but like, themselves are in standard and modern as well.
No, full respect to them if they've fully committed even to this point.
Yeah, no, for sure. They run an online league. You go look it out. If you do have any adjacent enjoyment of the Pioneer format, they still keep their toes in. But they were on about the fact that the top 8 tier decks in Pioneer right now are cheaper than the standard deck.
In our Legacy tournament, the 3rd place finisher was Storm, Mono Red Storm. Should we ignore Ancient Tomb? Are we allowed to do that?
Yeah, go on then.
Less than 400 quid.
Jeez. So like the Ancient Tomb, which obviously in the format we set up on the weekend would have been play testable.
If you ignore the Jeska's Wills as well, the weird commander cards, that's another €90 saved. You've got 2 defense grids in the sideboard. They're a tenner each. You've got 2 hexing squelchers. They're 15 each. Still, somehow, for some reason. That's still surprising to me. Why the hell are people still buying that card? Is it just commander players buying hexing squelcher? Because I've seen it in like some mono red lists.
It's in the
sideboard. Mono red is still 48% win rate.
I've seen it in the sideboard of Storm in Modern as well.
Sure.
And also the sort of fringe mono red standard deck plays them because it kind of like sideboards into an Ojutai like pinger plan, like
Ojaraxanil.
For
the millionth time. It's not fucking Ojutai.
Ojaraxanil, wards trigger 4, like Mage Bane Lizard trigger 4, all that kind of stuff. So, but again,
does that work? Hang on. I thought Odraxinol was damage. Yes, it is damage. It doesn't work.
Well, it'll work with...
It doesn't work with Hexing Squelcher's ward cost.
Oh, no, that would. No, but the lizard, you get it from the lizard and stuff like that.
Yeah, Mage Bane Lizard, fine. That doesn't explain Hexing Squelcher's price point. Is it? I think it is literally just Commander.
They love a Goblins deck in Commander.
Can I just say as well, this Mono Red Storm deck, Fright of Flame, Storm of Memories, Wish, Burning Wish, Desperate Ritual, Manamorpho, Seething Song, Ruby Medallion. Let's go. What a deck.
Well, we'll move on to this tournament. So for those of you who were living under a rock or whilst listening to this podcast, because we mentioned it like every week for a month, we hosted in partnership with Park TCG this weekend. We can call it a mini fest because obviously there was a Pokemon event as well, which was alongside it. But I'll hold my hands up and say that was all Bath TCG's locals doing. We also had a standard RCQ fire, which again, friend of the pod, Jason Handy, took that one down. So great job there. But yeah, we had the Legacy event, which attracted 38 players in the end, which meant we paid over £250 to first. I believe they took I think a volcanic island. With that they pretty much
bad.
made the volcanic island an acceptable price thanks to that. And and shout out Matt Jeans, or Liquid Jeans as he's known, or as the Bristol Discord would be mad at me if I don't call him the 6'7" boy, because there is a meme of it. He did. It is there. We'll get it linked. But they took it down with Mono Red Eldrazi. Great little story of the stream as well. So the VODs I'll get up throughout the week. I'm gonna upload them all as almost like a series, and you'll get pinged if you've got your bell on. And we let the players do the commentary and the talking. And you know what? I've never had so much fun in a Magic tournament with as high stakes, in respect of people were chill, people were enjoying what they were doing. And great story. Like Matt, first game on camera lost, which I think took them down to an X2 bracket at the time. Worked it back, got the top 8. The first game in the top 8, oh my gosh, they absolutely locked the colorless Mystic Forward player out. They got them under Chalice lock completely. Just a great variety again as well. There was quite a bit of the sort of classic Demir tempo, which is quite a fan favorite. Also, quite a bit, a little bit of Reanimator, the classic. Is it Delvers? Always good.
These people see Ponder and cannot help themselves, as I always say.
I think I did hear, and I think it's on some of the... I didn't actually necessarily vlog. I took the camera with me, but someone did say to me at some point that they got turn zeroed by an Oopsal Spells deck. So, effectively, they personally had no turn before, losing. So just a great fun overall. With the mono white Death and Taxes deck, which was just pure up the street of HMRC if he had been there. But Adabowers, as we was there as well, he was in a good spot, and then I think in that top 8 pretty much hit we're based on the way that the breakers fell down, hit the one matchup, which was just a auto lose.
If people have seen Bowers playing Legacy before, he is almost always on some form of Mox Diamond deck, and normally it's some form of lands as well. But this is a deck that I've played against many a time. It is stunningly beautiful. We'll ignore all the beta cards and all the expeditions and signatures on cards and how expensive that one is, because it would give you a nosebleed. That one's more expensive than standard decks. We'll give him that.
Oh yeah, that is one of the decks in this field. I can tell you was 0 proxies in that bad boy.
Oh yeah, the Tabernacle would have been over $1,000 by itself. The Mox Diamonds are like 300 quid now or something like that. But this is one of those legacy decks where sometimes you scroll through top eights and you see €2,000, 2,500, maybe one at like 800-900, and you think, oh, okay, maybe. And then you see one where it's like 14 grand, and it's like, yep, that's him.
Oh, but a great run all the same. A great weekend from all the players. We saw some top names, like we had Liam Taylor-Collins just made the Pro Tour, and people came from far and wide. There was definitely plenty of accents. If I didn't actually necessarily ask them if they'd flown over specially, but we got people from the north of England, the middle of England, the east of England, Spain. It was just great to see people like turn out in force. Selesnya Maverick was one of the coolest names for decks that I saw for the weekend as well. I had to like look that up to understand what was going on. But again,
you've never heard the term Maverick?
No, I never knew that would be the name of the deck. No.
Oh, so these like rhythm decks in Standard. Imagine they were playing like, when they first came onto the scene where they were playing like one reclamation, say like all these one-offs that they could find with their rhythms. That's essentially a Maverick deck. But Maverick's normally like Knight of the Reliquary as a base, and then like Green Sun Zenith, that type of thing. So like they'll play 1/6, 1 Titania, 1 Sylvan Safekeeper, and just go, hey, I'm casting this Green Sun Zenith, and you'll find out whether I'm getting a Gaddock Teague, a Scavenging Ooze, or a Knight of the Reliquary, and we'll get there when we get there.
Sick. No mill. I thought mill might have been a thing in Legacy. Is that me just not knowing the format well enough?
No, force of will existing definitely limits how much you can dick about, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I've just found this Maverick list. It's 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 2 2 2 3 4 4 4. Yeah, that sure is a Maverick list. And yeah, honestly, Frenzied Baloth is kind of hot in this.
Yeah,
Badgermole Cub with Noble Hierarch, beautiful.
Yeah, we see and we saw the Alluring deck, which is sort of like the hotness as well. There's a couple of those, sort of probably the closest.
Shout out Dougie P.
Yeah, probably the closest. You'll hate me saying this, but probably the closest thing to Timeless in paper this was, because this is so close to it's quite close to the deck that like all the salty people play on Arena.
Yeah, just taking absolute liberties with the mana base. It's like what you're playing, technically 4 color with 4 Ancient Tomb.
Yeah, exactly.
It's green blue, and because I know that if I don't give that addendum, Doug will shout at me because it's technically 4 color because of Atraxa.
Yes.
And it doesn't play the mana sources to actually just cast the Atraxa. You just show and tell it in. But the combo here is you play Alluring or Omniscience, and then you Acererak over and over again. And I think it's Tomb of Annihilation, the dungeon you go into, and you just kill them. This used to be a thing with, it was like Cavern Harpy and stuff like that back in the day. Alluring's been a deck in Legacy for donkey's years, and I mean, is this not where your formidable speakers are? Aren't these yours?
Yeah, I think I've now just located my formidable speakers.
But yeah, like Brainstorm, Force of Will, Ponder, stock up. Like it's a good base to any deck, and then you have just a really robust combo. And yeah, formidable speaker being in this deck in particular, you get an Alluring down, and it can tutor for whatever the hell you want in this. It can find Beseiju if it needs to, because formidable speaker can find lands, can't it? Or is it just creature? No, it's just creature.
No, it's just creature. Yeah.
But yeah, it can find Atraxa, it can find Acererak, it can find the Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn, depending on whether you've drawn Alluring or Omniscience. But you basically just slam one of them either via Show and Tell on turn 3 or just turn 2 with Lotus Petal. Yeah, you can Alluring and then play the speaker, use that to go get the Acererak. So yeah, just a really robust little deck. I know you didn't quite make top 8. Yeah, 3-3 record. So not quite the 4-3, 4-2-1 that we saw making top 8, because it was what? It was a 6-round? 6-rounder, yeah.
Yeah, 6 rounds, and we just talked about a really balanced standard format, and like although like the power is not necessarily balanced in Legacy, we're
it
seeing,
is though. The power is balanced in Legacy. Is that 8 different decks in the top 8?
Yeah, no. When I say powers, in like there's turn 2 games, there's turn 3 games, but
sure, like, but they're also more interactive than some standard games.
Yeah, but two of our feature matches went to time. You know what I mean? It's not a given that you're gonna win really, really quickly.
Yeah, they have been doing really well since sort of MH2, is I'm gonna say, is they've actually done really well at designing cards that make for interactive games of Magic. And you can argue the toss about the power level of MH3, whatever. I don't care at this point. You can't put that genie back in that bottle.
No,
it just is what it is. We will have MH4 at some point. It will blow Modern in half again. It just is what it is. But the only sort of, shall we say, MH3 tribal deck here is in 9th Dom with essentially Mardu Energy, and it's Boros Energy with Thoughtseize, Cabal Therapy, Swords to Plowshares, and Amptraptor. That's the biggest difference, and it's got better mana, and it's a Wasteland deck. Like, fine. That is probably a little bit much, and that's part of my issue with MH3. It wasn't even the power level. It's that they seeded these entire decks. That they seeded Eldrazi and they seeded Boros Energy, and it just wasn't necessary to do that.
Didn't even have to pick up anything like from old Energy cards before.
No, it wasn't even like, oh, we had to make do with fucking Assume with Aether to try and grease the wheels. It was just, here's everything with a mana taken off.
It just works.
That's my issue with it, not that it changed the formats, because let's be real, like, formats changing is just going to happen. It makes Wizards more money, so put up with it, or like find a different format to play that won't change as much. Like go play pre-modern. That one doesn't change very much.
So thinking about the cards that have been printed recently and affected the format, like looking towards our winner, could we even make an argument for Sire 7 Deaths probably being one of the most
Possibly.
sort of like on-note Magic cards to be printed in the last few years?
Yeah, because however you get to 7 mana, whether it's through Tron lands, whether it's talismans and ancient tombs and Ugin's labyrinths, whatever, you are just paying 7 mana for it. And it's just a 7 mana douchebag with a billion keywords. I know it's 7. I get the joke. It is just a dude, and that's all it is. And Formidable Speaker has impacted all of these formats. That's a 3 mana creature that doesn't accrue value.
It'll never do damage that matters. Like,
it's not like, it's not Flage, it's not Ajani, it's not Ocelot Pride. It's just a 3 mana creature that is a cog in a wheel. Yeah, it might enable combos, but also, who cares? Combos are part of Magic, and it's always going to be. It has been since Alpha, and it will continue to be in 30 years when we're all playing Magic, waiting for the bombs to drop on the bunker that we're hiding in after the fall of society. It doesn't matter. It just is what it is. But they have done really, really well. Recently, the only real cock-up that they've made for me is Boomerang Basics, and it's because it's 1 mana and it says draw a card on it. If you put all of the power into Uraboroid, Nature's Rhythm, great. That is where you want to be. If we're just slinging 4-drops back and forth, that's the kind of Magic a lot of people want to play. Do you put other stuff in there? Yeah, you've got Azorius Otters. You've got that combo deck. Is it fragile? Yeah, of course it is. It dies to like everything. You kill the Valley Floodcaller, it doesn't do diddly shit. If you deadly cover up and take their Valley Floodcallers, they're gonna struggle to win the game. Like SIG's command your fear.core all you like, dickhead. You're never untapping them. Like, and that's fine. That's good. That's where we want to be. So keep printing Ang and Formidable Speaker. Maybe don't put in the combo with Appa. That was probably a stupid decision, but keep doing that. Keep printing 3 drops and higher with all the power, and don't have your 1 drop say draw a card or snowball the game on them.
And let's also maybe do it 5 times a year rather than 7. We'll take that.
Again, a different conversation, my friend. But realistically, in 2027, we're going to have 6 standard sets and Modern Horizons 4. There's my spicy take right for the end of the podcast. My guinea pigs are going ape shit.
It's because they're ready to move.
Yeah.
If you were at our event this weekend, we just want to say thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the little gift. Obviously, we had the personalized M&Ms. We just made their way around social media, the Get Your Deck Out ones. So they got absolutely demolished, specifically by you, Adam. I've got to call you out. You love an M&M.
He's American.
No, a different Adam, not that
different Adam. Which Adam?
Adam Bond from Bristol. They not only loved them at the moment, but they took them to the pub afterwards. They're still in one piece from what I know. So, and they were also sealed when I got there. So that's on the M&M Corporation.
One piece? It's magic we're playing, mate.
No, they were in one piece, as in I didn't actually have, they were wrapped up.
Does he ever find the one piece? Isn't there like 7,000 episodes of that?
Yeah, like it's kind of a bit like Lost in it. Like,
can't wait for Wizards to announce the One Piece crossover, and they're like, "Yeah, we're doing 40 sets over the course of 11 years."
Well, I did also hear someone say about the fact that they bought the rights to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as well. There's what we got 1 year before we've got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah, Hasbro owned the rights.
So this is the one that we watched growing up. You were already 38. So you've got the blue Power Ranger. I wonder what color that one's going to be. Black, red, green, yellow can be white. That's normally the kind of crossover that they do. Where does the pink Power Ranger go? Let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments.
What make them Wooberg, fuck it.
Oh, there we go. News.
Oh no, we're going to get the 6th color in Magic because of the fucking Power Rangers, aren't we?
Oh, let us know what you think in the comments about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers secret lair or whatever comes next.
That'll be a full set, baby.
We will come back to you this time next week. We're not live. We will not be there at 9 o'clock on a Monday doing pre-release. We'll have a bit of a record of everything we saw from
it will be a bit more rough and ready. I recommend for the next one, if you normally listen to us in the car, and I've been told that some of you do.
Yeah,
I love you. Thank you. You next week you might have to watch it because you might just hear incoherent babbling and screaming as Dave's running around while I'm trying to corral a pre-release.
Yeah, do watch next week's and just see what our local Magic scene is like to play, and all of our friends and everything's around us. And if you do have any spicy takes on standard decks that are about to release, do let us know, because obviously we do have access to the Magic Online Early Access this week. So it'll be a couple of games going on from me out on the stream, and so the stream's in the description. We'll be streaming on here on YouTube as well, but it'll also be out on Twitch if that is your preferred platform of viewing. It seems to be 50-50 when I talk to people. I see like some people like to watch a YouTube stream, some people like to watch a Twitch stream. So it's out there for all of you. And yeah, on Magic Online, thank you so much for your continued support, having us in your creator program, giving us access to that account. And when we do events like
I did some vintage cubes earlier on today. I did not stream them. I did them just for my own benefit because I'm very stressed out from moving house. And I trophied with a rancid 4-color control deck. So I'm very proud of that.
666. So I will say, if for the communities around us, the extra value and the cherry on the top was some of the messages I got from some of the people who came really far away when I was dropping them a Magic Online code on Monday. They were just like, what? Magic Online points as well? And it was like, yeah, baby. So like, thank you for letting us be able to do that. It's going to be the next time we put one of these on, and hopefully we'll be able to announce to you very, very soon what our next one's going to be. There'll be more value for getting your deck out than ever before.
I'm going to be abusing him to try and do pre-modern, not going to lie.
We'll do a poll. And see which one it goes.
My vote counts more than all of you.
And we'll see you there. See you on the next episode. See you on the streams in the week. And see Scott next time in a new background.
Yeah. Should we do our little bit on the end for people? Because
okay,
so you don't listen to Resleevables, do you?
Oh, not every week. No, I have listened to it.
So I have their Patreon, and I have been since very early because I enjoyed listening to Cedric and Patrick shoot the shit, and now it's Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin. It's just incredible. They're two brilliant minds in Magic. So they talked about a card, and I want to read it to you, and I want to get your live reaction, because I imagine you haven't looked at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Commander very much.
No.
So I'm going to read you Krang the All-Powerful.
Okay.
4 and a blue, 3/3. Legendary artifact creature, Utrom Robot.
Okay, good stat. Good keywords. You know, robot, tribal, always.
Utrom.
Utrom
right.
Tribal.
Okay. If a player drawing a card causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time.
Hang on. So,
if a player drawing a card causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time.
They printed that in a pre-con.
There's more text on this card.
Okay. Hang on. This is like... So that would be Rhystic Study and the other one, Smothering Tide, right? Like triggering twice.
Yeah. It would be Smothering Tide, not Rhystic Study.
Yeah,
because Rhystic Study's off cards. So
pay four.
Yeah, if I have a Consecrated Sphinx and you draw a card, I draw 4 cards instead of 2, for example. And then whenever a player draws their second card each turn, put a 1/1 counter on Krang. Do you get it?
Whenever a player draws their second card
each turn, put a 1/1 counter on it. So basically, you get 2 1/1 counters because it triggers an additional time. So they.
Sorry, I've just looked the card up on the other screen.
Yeah, it's mad. I don't think it's powerful. I think it's actually like probably quite shit. It's just a 5-mana donk. But like, why is there so much? Aren't the commander decks meant to be for like new players and shit? So you're gonna play this card, and then you're gonna read it 6 times, still not understand what it does, and then someone's gonna shout at you. But
someone's gonna break it, right? Like they're gonna break it in a very unfair way.
I just don't care. Break it in Commander all you like. But P. Sully's follow-up comment for that was, "Please tell me this card doesn't flip." Which I did.
Do you know
enjoy.
what though? I wouldn't have been surprised if you said, "Oh, this has got a backside." Or something like that.
Also, final thing now, because I need to go to bed. Looking up Krang the All-Powerful on Scryfall, and shout out Scryfall, we love you. Did you know Scryfall? We know it has a Discord bot. We have it in the Get Your Deck Out server. Did you know they've got a Slack bot?
Do they really?
They have Slack and Discord bots as a category.
And do you realise that there's now a total of 5 Krang cards?
I don't care.
So Ultron as a keyword literally matters.
Utrom. It's not Ultron.
God, this is like me trying. This is like
it's
me in
Utrom
Spanish.
because then when we have the Marvel set, Ultron is a different thing. You see.
Oh God.
It's like Click Slither and Quicksilver all over again, baby.
Oh, should we go play Flesh and Blood?
No. I've got too much money in this fucking game, man. And unfortunately, the game's too fucking good. We'll all be playing with Donatello and we'll all be having fun. That's the worst thing.
I can't wait until we cast or we cover it and we go and here's your second cool but rude. Night, everybody.
Love you.